Hello, thank you for stopping by. My name is Becky and this is Bex Reads, and today I am bringing you a dedicated review of one of my favorite books ever, and that is 4 Years Trapped in My Mind Palace by Johann Twiss. And I'd also love to thank the sponsor of today's video, author Johann Twiss. So I have loved this book ever since I first read it back in 2018 when it was self-published, and it has recently been picked up by a smaller indie press and given a redesigned cover. So when Johann reached out to me asking for a dedicated review of this book, first of all, I was honored that you wanted a dedicated review of my thoughts for this book. And second of all, it gave me the reason to reread this book that I haven't read since 2020. But let me tell you what this book is about before I get into my review. 4 Years Trapped in My Mind Palace by Johann Twiss is a genre-bending novel. It mixes historical fiction with magical realism and bridges the gap between young adult and adult fiction. In this, we follow a 14-year-old boy named Aaron who is completely paralyzed. He can see and hear the world around him, but he has no way of communicating that to others. And as the world is slowly passing him by, he has given up hope of ever recovering. His parents are starting to distance themselves, and he is moved to a retirement home where he is the new roommate to a 73-year-old man named Solomon who is dealing with dementia. Because of Solomon's dementia, no one believes him when he says that he can hear what Aaron is thinking. Solomon is able to give Aaron a voice for the first time, and when Solomon goes into what he calls his dementia dreams, dreaming of his past, Aaron is somehow sucked into Solomon's dream where he gets to live this adventurous life, witnessing historic events and meeting prominent figures in history. This is such an incredibly unique story, unlike anything I had ever read before. It made the finalist for the Book Pipeline Adaptation Competition and the Screencraft Cinematic Book Competition. And less notably, it received my #1 Best Book of the Decade in 2020 after reading 50 of my favorite books from 2010 to 2019. I loved these two characters, Aaron and Solomon, this young boy and this old man who wouldn't seem like they have a lot in common, but through their shared dreams and through them finding that they have a love of music, they have such a pure and innocent friendship that just touched my heart. This could have easily been a book strictly about Aaron and Solomon, just focusing on them, but I really like that Johann gave perspectives of Aaron's parents and Solomon's daughter and his grandkids and what their thoughts and feelings were as the family of people who are dealing with a child who is paralyzed, a parent who's going through dementia and having to live in a retirement home. It added the realistic element to this story to help balance out the magical realism. The magical realism in this book isn't something to dissect and analyze the logistics of. It's something that you just need to believe for the sake of believing. This book truly is an homage to just believing in the impossible and having hope that the impossible exists. It really reinvigorated my inner child's innocence that my jaded adult self has lost over time. And it gave me that sense of being a child and believing in the impossible things just because they exist, no questions asked. And there's a line in this book that Solomon says to Aaron that I think sums this up beautifully. He says, "Some things in life just are what they are because God allowed it to be so. Maybe we're not meant to know all the answers." And as you can tell from that statement, this book does have a little bit of religious undertones to it. Solomon is Jewish and he has a strong faith in what he believes. But this book isn't like beat you over the head, shove ideas down your throat religious. It's just an aspect of Solomon's character because that is his life and he's lived this long life and his beliefs are part of that. And that's something that I really appreciated as well, was seeing the Jewish faith represented in a story that wasn't trying to make you as a reader believe in something one way or the other. I really enjoyed the historical elements that Johann chose to put in this book. Some of the events and places and people that Aaron meets through Solomon's dreams, I had a vague knowledge about, and then some of them were completely new to me. And I really appreciated that Johann in his author notes put in information where he got insight and inspiration for the historical elements that he included in the story. He also included resources to where you can go and find more information about those events if you find yourself curious about them. I always love it when authors do that. It lets me know that they put a lot of time and effort into researching where they're pulling their inspiration from. Again, this gave me a very unique feeling. It almost made me feel like finding an old picture and asking your grandparents about it, and then seeing that come to life as they're reminiscing about what happened in that moment. This book gave me so many unique feelings that no other book has ever given me. It is set in the late 1980s and then further back into Solomon's childhood, and it just transported me to a time that was much simpler, much more innocent, and it literally put me in that mood. I was worried that the ending of this book wouldn't hit me as emotionally as it did the first 2 times that I read it. The first 2 times I read it, I cried. It made me cry. And so knowing how it was going to end, I was like, am I gonna feel that? But it did. It managed to make me cry again on the 3rd time reading it. The ending is a full circle moment. It wraps up this story beautifully. It made me cry with sadness, happiness, hope, reminiscence. And the ending of this book is what I would hope people could experience in real life. This would make an excellent book club pick if you have a book club that reads magical realism books, historical fiction books, general fiction books, just a variety of things. I definitely think this would be worth reading and discussing. And if you do pick it for a book club and you reach out to Johan through his website, he would be more than happy to join a video call and discuss some of the questions that are at the end of this book, or just discuss your own thoughts and feelings on it. It's just such a great story that makes you believe in the power of friendship and the importance that people play in your life. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you can pick this up in ebook, audio, and physical through Amazon. You can also purchase it directly from Johan's website, which I will have linked in the description, and if you do so, he will sign and personalize it for you. That is what I did back in 2020. I purchased several signed and personalized copies for friends and family because it was my best book of the decade. And every single person who I gifted a copy of this book to, despite their varied reading tastes, they all enjoyed this story. I just wanted to mention that if you purchase this book, you are not only helping to support an indie author like Johan himself, you are actually doing a good deed, because this book is now indie published through Milk and Cookies, which is an imprint of Bushel and Peck Publishing. And for every book that they sell, they donate a book to a child in need. So I hope if you read this book, you enjoy it as much as I do. I without hesitation gave this book 6 stars again. And if you do read it, all Johan asks is that you leave a review on Amazon, Storygraph, Goodreads, anywhere where you would leave a review, just to get the word out about this amazing story. But I have even better news. Not only did Johan sponsor this video, but he sent me physical copies of 4 Years to give away to lucky readers. So I have 4 signed copies to give away to 4 lucky viewers. There will be a Google form linked in the description of this video. If you would like to enter to win one of these, all you have to do is fill out that form with your first, last name and your email address, where I can contact you if you're a winner. I will pick 4 people at random on October 15th. Please keep in mind this is USA only because shipping costs. But that being said, if you're international and you aren't lucky enough to win this, like I said, please pick it up on Amazon through audio, ebook, or physical. The ebook is actually available through Kindle Unlimited, so there's an added plus. And thank you, Johan, once again for sponsoring this video, for reaching out to me and wanting my opinions on this book. I am so honored, and I hope I did it justice for you. Let me know down in the comments if you've heard of this book, if you're adding it to your TBR, but if you don't want to comment that but would like to let me know that you made it to the end of this video, could you leave me a castle emoji? Castle, palace? They're similar, right? And with that, thank you so much for watching this dedicated review of one of my favorite books. And until my next video, go read 4 Years Trapped in My Mind Palace by Johan Twiss, and be sure to enter that giveaway linked in my description. Bye!